Welcome back to our Star Wars hands-on preview. Very grateful to Ubisoft for allowing me to get access 4 hours of playing this game early. Very exciting stuff. I'm gonna break down the open world while showcasing some of the gameplay that I have went through and should be interesting. Note that I did play on keyboard and mouse, and I'm a controller player. I pretty much never play on keyboard and mouse. The first time in like a year, I really had to get in there and practice. That's gonna be my excuse for some of the gameplay, but I did have fun. I enjoyed some of it. I do have breakdowns on my impressions, the factions. I have segments of videos, each dedicated to different parts of the game. And now we're gonna dive into the open world. Reminder before we do, I have giveaways. They're in the comments. I need you guys to check that out, show love. Make sure you share this so that we can get the community bigger, have more giveaways, just build the love and support of this community. All right, let's get into it right now. You're gonna see me taking off. Okay, this is very important because this is a big part of the game. You're able to literally go anywhere within the planets that they've allowed, and you're able to pretty much do as you please, folks. So we're gonna get the pleasure of jumping on board and actually seeing me take off. This is my first time. I didn't know what I was doing, by the way. I literally was learning as I went, and it was like a kid in a candy store. Very exciting. I can talk about the open world while we showcase some of this footage, but I did want to talk about just traveling because since you're able to just leave planets and come back when you feel like it, this mechanic right here, hitting the button and taking off, there is a cutscene there, but it's a smooth transition and it feels like a flow, immersive experience. And then you get to decide where you want to go. You're going to hyperdrive, and then you're going to be able to land in a planet as well, deciding where you want to land, all that good stuff. And so to me, that was so well crafted and it felt really good. For example, this is me literally in the gameplay. You're going to see some rough gameplay here, but hey, we get the job done, okay, guys? But the principle here of what I want to talk about with the open world is that this right here is Star Wars, okay? Right there, I just passed one of those terminals that will clear my name if I had a wanted by the Empire status. All of those terminals, you're gonna see them right below me on the bottom right. I can go there and clear my name. There's things like that that you can do in this space area, side missions, main missions. I went and grabbed a couple things from the side missions. I got attacked. I went in. There's a lot of different scenarios that happen. And reason I'm bringing this up as an open world conversation is because it is a big part of it, right? And there's a lot to do in this open environment when it comes to space. It's not just travel from world to world to another. It's really true the Star Wars spaceship as well. You're able to customize your spaceship just like you're able to customize your character and so much more. But yeah, so this is interesting for me. I did not know or understand this at all. We saw some information and trailers about what these things could be, but to finally get it in my hands and to kind of feel it felt really good. Remember, I'm a keyboard and mouse, so I had to learn how to maneuver a little better, but we were in a dogfight, as they say, literally a dogfight, and it was pretty fun. I actually love spaceship games. There's a couple of games I used to play back in the day, and so this is gonna be fun to kind of have as an in betweener. If I just want to go to a planet, there's some fast travel mechanics that I've seen, but this being able to get out there and do things, and especially the reason I think this is important is as I talked about the factions and the relationships, the rewards each faction gives you are so good that you want to build relationships. So if you can get in space, and this is going to be a pro tip for all those people, if you can get into space and actually do random side missions to max out a relationship with one of the factions, I think that could be a good way to farm your relationship with them. And that's kind of what I'm going to end up doing because I do want all the rewards as fast as possible. And so that is just a cool factor that I think is interesting that can be a game changer as well. And while we watch me fight here, I do want to discuss a couple of things. The most important thing with the open world is in the actual areas that you're landing on, you have the factions throughout the areas. If they see you and you're not in good terms with them, they will attack you while you're driving your speeder or walking, and then you're gonna have to deal with that. But on the other hand, if somebody's in trouble, you can actually help them and fight with a different faction if they're fighting another faction or something, maybe even with the Empire. You can just basically help people, whether it's the factions to benefit from or somebody you're trying to betray. All of that stuff is there, and that makes the open world very lively and interesting to kind of just roam and get into some trouble to try to find things to do. An example is the pirates trying to steal from you in space, or maybe let's just say, while you're on land, somebody asks for your help, but really it's a trap. There's things like that that can happen. And that to me really made it very awesome. And I thought, okay, this game, it's going to get me hooked once it does um, release. So that was super interesting. And that's something I loved. And I think that, of course, there's the broader storyline of Star Wars, but the Syndicate War at that time was very heavy because everybody was fighting for power in the underworld, while the Empire was trying to rule the galaxy at the same time. So you have two different big storylines playing a big role into your factor as well, and how you should go about things and what you should do or shouldn't do. So for me, I look at it like they've done a good job to be able to present this from what I've experienced so far. And now I know for a fact that this is going to be huge. I didn't think that space would be that big of a deal until I got my hands on it and said, "Oh, this feels great." And I definitely am interested to see how it all plays out. Now, in this specific scenario, I'm not sure how much I'm going to show here, but the Imperial fuel station, we're trying to get over there. And the interesting part about this, that I'm going to kind of skip ahead a little bit, they are basically bringing me into their base, and we're trying to trick them about some cargo and all this cool stuff. But the remember, never know what Sith or cameo can appear in this. So it is a very cool factor, very interesting plots that could happen and just take you to another level. There's no way if you're a Star Wars fan that you're just like, nah, I'm not interested. And if that's you, then you really got some work to do. Like being cynical is basically you cursing yourself. Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. I personally am very excited just to kind of, as a Star Wars fan, to get lost in the universe. But then I realized this game has good gameplay, cool story. The faction system is amazing, and it's gonna be a good time. So yeah, so lock in for that. Let's see how it goes. But that's kind of my impressions for the open world stuff. I just wanted to kind of share a little bit. And before we go, I will say thank y'all so much. This has been a fun time kind of exploring different parts of my playthrough. I have way more footage. Couldn't put it all in one video. I wanted to kind of give you piece by piece, discuss them in detail to kind of help you see where I'm at with it. There's a lot to talk about with upgrading your ships, your speeders, your characters, your weapons. All of that is a big factor. So I'm gonna have you covered. Go check out the next one, which kind of gets into a bunch of different details, breaking down everything that you need to know about. See you there.